and tonight's news, Voicing Your Elasticity by Olivia, Arjun and Chris. At first, we'll have a look at price elasticity of demand, or PED. PED is a measure of the responsiveness of the demand of a product to change in its own price. It is calculated by the percent change in quantity demanded over the percent change in price. Price elasticity is usually negative, so we ignore the sign. Goods with perfect inelasticity have a PED value of 0. Inelastic goods have a PED value of between 0 and 1. If a good has a PED value of exactly 1, it is considered as unit elasticity. Goods with a PED value between 1 and infinity are considered elastic. Perfect elasticity occurs when there is PED value of infinity. Now we'll look at determinants of PED. There are plentiful determinants of PED, such as the availability of a substitute good, the relative expense of a product, the number of uses, the addictiveness, and the time period. Now we'll have a look on how producers can use PED to determine the impacts that it may have on them. Here are some examples. And manufactured goods. Generally, primary goods have more inelastic demands, while manufactured goods tend to have more price elasticity. Primary goods tend to have few close substitutes, whereas manufactured goods generally are the opposite. Now let's look at income elasticity of demand, or YED. YED is used to measure the responsiveness of the quantity demanded to the change in real income. It is calculated by the percent change in quantity demanded divided by the percent change in income. Inferior and normal goods. Whether the value of the YED is positive or negative can tell us two things. If the YED is negative, the demand falls and the real income increases, whereas in the YED is positive, demand rises as real income rises. This is considered as inferior goods and normal goods, respectively. The role of YED in the decisions made by firms regarding prices and production levels. Firms of normal goods, such as soft drinks, can use income elasticity of demand to forecast the effects of change in real income. When it comes to firms of inferior goods, such as canned food, they can use YED to forecast the effects of a change in real income. Described below are the uses of YED in terms of taxes, subsidies, and price controls. Now let's look at cross-elasticity of demand, or XED. XED is used to measure the responsiveness of the demand for one product when there is a change in price of another. It is calculated by the percent change in quantity demanded of good A over the percent change in price of good B. The answer for XED can mean one of two things, depending on whether it is positive or negative. If negative, the two goods are complement goods. If positive, the two goods are substitute goods. The numeral value of XED. Another aspect we have to look into is the numeral values. It will show us the strength of a relationship. The greater the coefficient, the closer the substitutes are. The greater the coefficient, the closer the complement is to the good. Listed below are the uses for XED when it comes to making changes in prices between two firms. And that concludes tonight's news report. I'm Crystal Clatworthy, and this was the most painstaking news report I ever had to make.